How y'all doing? I have told my children that when they come home, they have to complete their homework, of course, because that is a part of their requirements. But for themselves, they need to spend the time until the sun goes down developing themselves on self-development. So
joined.
Oh, Nicole joined. Hello, Nicole. They're teaching me that I must interact with my audience. Hey, Nicole, how are you? How's your day? This is teaching content. What does that say? J-O?
Jaylee.
Jaylee? Yeah, I see it now. I see it. Jaylee. Hey, Jaylee.
Let's invite her so we can know that if we got her name right.
No, I don't want to invite her because my content is not like your, hey, Miss D. James. How are you, Miss D. James? My content's not like your father's content, so I will not be inviting people on unless they say I want to come on because we're going to have a conversation. Because I'm a healer. I'm teaching my son how to be a healer.
Hi.
I'm also teaching him how to be a man, because I'm really fighting against the belief that a woman can't raise a man. When I spend all day, every day, raising my children. But why wouldn't I make sure that I identify what it takes for this young man to be a man? Like, why would I leave that out? So it really upsets me, Jaylee, to hear people say that women can't raise men. So right now, what was your story about W.E.B. Du Bois?
I learned it from school. And I wanted to tell my mom, which started live at first, that I learned it from school.
Hey, Mateo.
Wait.
That's not Mateo. It's just a Mateo. Boy, keep telling your story.
So, I learned from school, and I wanted to tell my mom this, so I went to tell her. After when I told her, she probably smiled or something. I don't know.
All right, so he told me a story about somehow at school he heard about W.E.B. Du Bois. But before, thank you for the love. Hey, Nikki Porter. Before we thank you for coming into live and giving the energy that lives deserve. Amen. That lets us know that we're doing something out here. And we are doing some amazing work in our community online and here in the Phoenix area. So if you're in the Phoenix area, check out Lonnie Appleton live and, check out LonnieLifestyle.com and just see what we're doing in the community, virtually and in person.
On YouTube so you can see me on her account.
Yeah, you can see this young man grow up in front of you and see his story and why he's reached the space that he is and the intelligence that he holds at 7.
My dream is becoming a YouTuber.
And I want him to become a YouTuber because our children need a positive 7-year-old. He likes to play games. Wouldn't you rather your kids watch a kid who's playing games and speaking life into them instead of watching this dumb stuff? They're talking about brain rot, not even understanding that the brain rot is the brain rot. Like,
I know brain rot now.
I'm a teacher. Why wouldn't I know brain rot?
Then say one brain rot word.
The brain rot in itself is brain rot. You getting caught in the idea of brain rot is letting me know that you don't actually know what brain rot is.
Like brain rot,
anyway, the whole point that we're here is I told him, when you get home, I need you to do something developmental. Hello to everyone who has entered the room. I apologize if this is kind of like the chat rooms of the old days, right? Welcome everybody who has entered the room. I don't mean not to acknowledge you, but I do want to share knowledge with you. So, I like that. Anyway, I told him, you don't get to come home and just sit on your Kindle. What he did was he finished all his homework on Monday because it's no longer challenging to him. So we think we must put more work in front of our children. No, if our children are no longer challenged by the work that they're giving them, it's not for us to give them more of their work. It's for us to good, get that off of your plate so that now you can focus on you, because you can never perfect you. That's why we are imperfect. It's not that we can't perfect ourselves. It's that I will never be until I become God, which means I think who was it, Elijah or somebody actually got taken off of the earth. They did not die. I don't know. I think it was Enoch. Actually got taken off of the earth. They did not die. If you know, correct me because I'm learning my Bible. But give me a second, friend. But you'll never be perfect because there's always work to be done. And so I told him, I was just like, yes, you finished all your homework on Monday. That doesn't mean you just get to sit around and twiddle your thumbs and play on your Kindle and talk, play around. No, you have freed yourself up to search within yourself, singular, actually multiple, but we're going to say yourself. And so he told me, he was just like, something at school about W.D.B. Du Bois. Oh, no. I was like, you could read a book or whatever. Well, I was substituting in a 5th grade classroom, and this is the book. Sorry if my nails dirty. My nails are always dirty. But this book was on the desk. And I was like, well, because it had cartoon images on it, I was just like, I can use that book to teach my children Black history because I don't know Black history. I always thought learning a bunch of facts about humans was a waste of my time. That's because I didn't realize how important our history was. Some people in our bloodlines, and we have to understand our bloodlines are all together. Just because we're not the same, hey Q, doesn't mean hey JE, doesn't mean we're not the same. We're all the same. So there's some people within our bloodlines who have done amazing things. And if we think that just because our DNA doesn't directly match, thank you for the love, it does just because our bloodline doesn't directly match Barack Obama's bloodline doesn't mean his greatness doesn't pulse within our veins as well. So when we know these people and we know their story, we're actually learning our story. That's why they say Black history is our history. It's not our history as a people. It's saying if somebody out there can do it, damn it, I can too. Now there's more to it because based on our true DNA and bloodline, we only have the innate aptitude to go as high as our genetic coding. Hey Kiki.
Hi,
Sun driver 526. Hey, we gonna just call you Sun. Sund. I was gonna stop at Sun. How you doing, friend? So anyway, we have to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in boxes on any level. Don't let those people box you in. You can do whatever you want to. You're a divine being designed by God. No man should ever be able to tell you what your capabilities are. So anyway, I told my son he needs to, instead of read the Kindle, he needs to read about one Black hero in his book so that, and write down. So I'm teaching my son how to study.
Wait, Mom, I think there's 2 people in the live.
There are 2 people in the live. Well, actually that number's off. There's different numbers everywhere, but thank you for the 2 people in our live. We appreciate you. Go tell your friends and let people know about Lonnie Appleton and As the Apple Turns because we're changing lives over here. Those who have an ear hear. So anyway, I told him you need to write. I'm teaching them how to study. So I'm like, it's not for you to read the whole paper. Or excuse me.
You can't see it.
Yeah, you can't see it.
Right.
But it's not for you to read the whole passage and then try to regurgitate what you read. It's for you to, and that's what school teaches you, read the passage and answer the questions. No, go through the passage and actually find what you find interesting, not what they tell you to find interesting. Because if we were all allowed to ask, hey, what did you find interesting? What did I find interesting? Now we can exchange point of views, but they don't want us to exchange point of views. That's why God wants you to focus on the one answer. Not God, boom. That's why the world wants you to focus on the one answer. But the true intellect is being able to say, you read this, you read this. This is why I need to start a micro school. You read this and you read this, and then we'll see what stands out. So I said, you're going to read about King Tut because he was a child king. But then he comes to me and he says, oh, he's fallen asleep. And I'm like, go ride your bike, because I posted a video earlier on my profile, actually posted today if you want to check it out, where I'm talking about what type of distracted are you? Are you the type that just gets to the business? Do you do a little distraction? Do you let distraction stop you, or you never get started? What type of distracted are you? And, God is really leaning in that for me because I'm just like, learn about King Tut. He's fallen asleep. Thank you, Q. He's falling asleep, and I'm like, yo, you don't get to fall asleep on your business. You go and spend 8 hours. Give me a second. You go and spend 8 hours in that distracted ass school that is preparing you to be a distracted ass employee, and then you come home and you fall asleep. No. I said, choose your distraction. I know he enjoys jumping on the trampoline. They got these motorcycles for Christmas. So go ride your motorcycle up and down the street and get your adrenaline pumping again. Because I get it. As soon as I pick up a book, my brain goes, so I get it, right? So I need his brain to wake up. So go do something that wakes your brain up. So he goes outside, he rides his bike, he comes back, he's not sleepy anymore. And I'm like, okay. And then he's sitting here, tells me that somehow he heard about W.E.B. Du Bois at school.
Jinx.
And so he has his Black Heroes book, and he's like, sorry, I didn't mean to hold it in your face like that. He has his Black Heroes book, and he's looking in the glossary, and he sees W.E.B. Du Bois, and he starts telling me the story. So now he's able to make a connection. So now he actually wants to go read the story. Because I'm just like, do you want to actually go know who that is now that you heard about him and you see he's in your book? And so I'm teaching him how to use the glossary. So he's like, goes and finds the page. So now he's on the page. And that's where I had to tell you all that history to bring you to this present moment. Do you understand your life is lived in history? So pay attention. Why did you do what you just did? That's what I tell my students. If you can't tell me why you just did what you did, why did you do it? Stop doing things you don't know why. Everything needs to be intentional and purposeful. Why did you just grab my pen? Why did you, if you don't know why you just grabbed my pen, don't touch my pen. Don't do things. You got 24 hours. You just wasted X amount of seconds grabbing my pen for no reason. Be purposeful every second. That's how deeply, hey Nicole, hey Brandy, Michelle, that's how we drill down all the way to that minute detail. Hey Skylove. All right, so he's going to teach us about W.E.B. Du Bois. Read for us, son.
W.E.B. Du Bois was an, I don't know these two words.
Intellectual. Philosopher.
So, W.E.B. Du Bois was an intellectual philosopher and civil rights activist. He was one of the founders of the PenAndPaperPeriod.
I'm so happy I didn't take that joy from me. N double A C P. NAACP. Yeah.
William.
That's called an acronym.
Okay.
National Association of something colored people.
Okay.
African, I don't know.
Hey guys, start liking the live because that gives me good greatness. And don't forget the orange heart up there.
Yes, the orange heart on top and double tapping the screen lets my son know his reading and knowledge sharing is beneficial to you.
Because I love getting likes and subscribers.
All right, let's go. William Edward Burgent
Du Bois was born in 1868 in Oh, hi. Thank you, Q, for liking the live.
Hey, we appreciate you, Q. Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Yeah.
As this book is kind of hard.
That's why you got me, kid. Keep reading. No obstacles.
As a child, he attended integrated school, which means it had both black and white students. It's kind of like my school because I got. Thank you, Q, for saying good job.
Good job.
Good job for you saying good job. And liking the live.
Good job for you saying good job, Q. We appreciate you. Oh, I love it. He's learning how to work the room. Go ahead, boy. Read.
Black, white students. At a young age, he proved to be a strong student, although he grew up in an integrated community, he still experienced racism. Is that racism or racism?
Racism.
Okay, racism. Let's make sure it's anyone else.
I'm watching the screen, baby. Don't you worry. You read your book.
You. He never forgot his encounters with
You just taught me how to get my son to read and do things he don't want to. Put him on live. He wants the likes and the love. You read this book and I'll put you on live. Keep reading, baby. Go and clap the little boy up so he know he's... This is how we get our babies to learn. We tap into the thing that they desire, being on camera.
Description, I think it says, right?
And they do what we want. Read this book and learn this Black history. Hold on, let me see. Discrimination.
Okay, discrimination and racism. In 1885, the Du Bois family... Sorry for spitting on you if I did. Pulled together.
I'm deaf taking notes. Take them. Pen, paper, baby. Pen, paper. That's what we do. Yeah. My live, my first podcast, Sunday, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's called Pen, Paper, Period. You're going to learn today?
Here you go.
Go find me. I don't need a pen. How am I going to hold the book and the phone and the pen? How are we doing it all?
I am deaf. Take notes. LOL.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you find something worthy of a note?
Okay. So what I found is that was interesting is the 8, and 5.
So 1885.
And 1, 8, 9, 5.
1895. Why was that interesting to you?
Because that's probably like a thing that happened at the same born thing.
Yeah, you're missing me, son.
Hmm?
You're missing me, son. They're 10 years apart.
Yeah.
So it says in 1885, the Du Bois family pulled together funds from neighbors to send him to Fisk University. In 1895, he became the first African American to earn a PhD from Harvard. All right, so boom, you're onto something. I'm going to make you think. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
In 1885, the family pulled together funds from neighbors. See the power in community? Hey, Bo and Chanty. So you see the power in community? He was able to go to university. You understand that some of us are sleeping in cars. Some of us are losing everything. Some of us are out here with all these different things that are happening. And because they had community back in 18, you see where we came from and where we are? We will watch each other struggle.
Mom.
In 2025. But in 1885, they pulled money together.
1895.
I'm in 1885.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
The family pulled together funds from neighbors to send him to Fisk University. So there was that much black pride. Hey, Chanty! Hello. They had that much black pride that they put their money together to see another one of them win. What's up?
You already said hey, Chanty.
Did I? Well, I was saying hey, Chanty, because Chanty's one of our community members that I recognize. I don't recognize all our community members, but I recognize your icon. So I know. Why am I going to invite her? Because my community is based on knowledge sharing, not discussion. That's something that your dad does over on his platform, not mine. And when you develop your platform the way that you want to. But I will agree, I do need to interact with my community more. Yeah. But understand also, this is a listening content, like a podcast more so, which I launch my first one on Sunday. Make sure you're tuning in. Find me, Lonnie Appleton.
The people
on Facebook.
Hi, Patronella.
Patronella.
Petronella.
Petronella.
I'm gonna call you Ella.
Ella. All right, so in 1885, they pulled together the money for him to go to university. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. I want you to understand, in 1885, he went to Fisk University.
That's right. All right.
10 years later,
mm-hmm.
In 1895, he became the first African American to earn a PhD from Harvard. So 10 years. So I wonder what happened in his life in 1905. Because it seems like major events are happening in his life 10 years apart. Look, in 1885, he went to school for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal, right?
Yes.
Especially in the 1800s. For a black man to go to college, that was a big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
10 years later, in 1895, he becomes the first African American to earn a PhD from Harvard. So again, that's a pretty big deal, right? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay, so understand that is what we call, we want to track cycles in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we call a cycle. That's a trend. We see in 1885 something huge happened in his life, and then 1895 something huge happened in his life. So chances are in 1905, in 1915, and 1925, something huge was happening in his life. And if I were to go track his timeline, which I'm not, I bet you I could find it. So when you identified those years as something interesting, I pulled out what potentially you found was you tracked one of his trends in his life. We're discovering W.E.B. Du Bois. Michael's reading about him. What else did you learn?
He got me with 5 ones. So the first one that I learned this at school, and the second is 1885 and 1895, and third is pooled funds.
What does it mean to pool funds?
I don't know.
So why was it interesting to you?
Because that got my head feeling like what kind of funds. So that's why I wrote that.
Okay, so
You and then the sisters in.
yeah, I'm telling the sisters I'm calling out my milkshake.
Don't forget the little cute face right there.
That's me. Oh, you want me to tell them, please join? You want me to ask nicely?
Sure, don't forget this.
I want people to feel sympathy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I made them feel sympathy for me. How y'all doing? Welcome to the live. CT.
T. We call it T because that was kind of hard for me though.
That's a little difficult. Well, we just had to CTE. City.
Yeah.
All right, so to pool funds means to, you know how you have a swimming pool?
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of water in one place, right? Yes, no?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the wrong kind of pool. You have pool. It's Pool, not Pull. So they put a bunch of, and funds is money. That's another way to say money, funds. So they put a bunch of money in one place so that he could afford to go to college. We're learning about W.E.B. Du Bois.
Only the ones that joined.
Yes, for our new people. We're learning Black history.
From the book called Black Heroes. You can get this somewhere, I don't know.
On Amazon. I'm going to work on my
Amazon.
affiliate link so that you'll be able to go to LonnieLifestyle.com so you could buy your book through there, and then you could give me a little piece of change because we keep the dollar black as long as possible.
I'm trying to work for this, Mom. I'm trying to get paid with this. I'm trying to get my play buttons.
Your play buttons. Okay, so
For
boom.
YouTube.
All right, so after they pulled the funds, we understand that's they put their money together. How important is it for people to be able to put their money together?
So, for like, like poors and they don't have no money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. So the other people they probably take for them to deliver it to a poor when they see it.
To a poor, that's what you call them?
Yeah. Are you writing on the book?
I am writing on the book. I have a bad habit. See, I did it there. I won't do it again. Sorry, I'm a doodler. I'm trying to discipline myself. Hey, Kay Nicole, how you doing, friend?
Hello.
We talking about Black history and W.E.B. Du Bois and getting my son excited about learning.
One book that you can get on the link in the bio on Amazon.
The link in the bio on Amazon. We'll get it together. Okay. One day this will be a well-oiled machine, but right now, just go to Amazon and get your copy of the book. The language is a little bit too advanced for your kid to read independently, cognitively, and pronunciation, some of the words, but be able to understand the words. You're going to have to be able to explain the words to your kid. but it is, presented in a way that the kid could get into. I didn't take. Oh, what are you trying to write? Oh, the book.
Hi, Jenny. Jeannie.
I'm a genie in the bottle, baby. Coming in, let me
Answer the
out.
phone real quick.
Shannon joined. Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Go get some business.
I said hi. So,
Hi.
we called you Jeannie, and guess what we have on our wall? The genie.
You ain't ever had a friend like me. Beep.
Hi,
Go away, dog.
Shannon.
Shannon. How you doing, friend? We over here learning about WEDB, Du Bois, and teaching you waved at Shannon. Oh, we can wave at people?
Yeah, it says say hi, and we read in Black Heroes get Lincoln Bio on Amazon.
Yes, and so
Thank you for the smiley face.
yes, he is. I'm finding a way to tap into his interests so that I can grow his interests. So he likes to be on live.
Me, yes, me.
And I'm getting him to read his Black history. So thank you so much for interacting with him because it's encouraging him to learn his Black history. So Shannon, I don't know if you have kids or what's going on, but if you got somebody that you want to perform for you and do something for you and they're like, well, put me on live.
Thank you for liking.
Tap on me and say, sis, I need you to hop on this live so I can get my son to read his book.
And
I will get on your live and I'm like, good job, baby. Keep going, baby. This is the village. Thank you, Shannon.
Don't forget the orange heart up top, okay?
Yeah, there's an orange heart on the top. I don't know nothing about two boys.
LOL.
Girl, Shannon, you better hop in my DMs and let's become friends so we could support each other. I got two boys too. It don't matter if we just become long distance friends. Don't we need friends? It don't matter if I could go get a drink with you or not. We can zoom and wine with the wine and have some good conversations. Hop into my DMs. Let's build a rapport. I am growing my network of friendship. Welcome, it's the Bay. What's up, Bay? So what else did we learn about W.D. Du Bois? The power in community, right? So if they didn't have all those relationships within the community, they wouldn't have been able to get enough money to send him to school. Because could the family afford to send him to school by themselves?
Yeah, because
It says in 1885, the Du Bois family pulled together funds from neighbors to send him to school. So who sent him to school? Did the family or did the neighbors?
The family or the neighbors.
And the neighbors. So the family put their own money in, but the neighbors also put their money in. So could the family afford to send him to school by themselves?
No.
But with the power of their community, they were able to send him to school, right?
Yes.
So that's the power of our community, Shannon. That's the network I'm creating. It's called the Sister Support Network. That's the power. That's the network I'm creating. You know what you know. I know what I know. But as we grow in sisterhood, understand my kids are always around me. So if I'm on the phone with you, they're going to hear our conversations because I'm always talking on speakerphone. And so they're learning. They're learning from you. They're learning from me. And so, hey, Madam Zoe, everybody is learning from each other. So that's the beauty of our community. I hope you join if you're not a part of the community already. If you are, I just don't recognize you at this point. But welcome, sis, Okay, so did we finish?
Yes.
I think there's a second page about him, but because you demonstrated the aptitude to actually get your work done, I'll read for you, okay?
Okay.
In 1885, the Du Bois family pulled together funds from neighbors to send him to Fisk University, a historically black university in Nashville, Tennessee. So understand that there's a bunch of universities out there. If you do choose to go to university, which it will be a choice, it will not be a requirement, but if you do choose to go to a university, I do encourage you to go to a historically black college university simply because of the history of your people going there. So you're not, at this point, The prestige of a university is just a prestige. I think the same old rinky-dink motherfuckers who are teaching at Harvard are the same old rinky-dink motherfuckers that are teaching at Fisk University. But the chances are you are more likely to run across somebody who actually cares about you. Hey, mad scientist. I'm a mad scientist too. Welcome, welcome. You're more likely to run into a mad scientist at a Fisk University that's capable of teaching you something than you are to run into a mad scientist at an ASU. So if you do choose to go to a university or a college, I hope you do choose a historically black college. After graduating, he enrolled at Harvard University, where he studied history and sociology. So at that point, he had the foundation of being at a historically black college. So now he went to where he needed to go to get what he needs. Thanks for the warm welcome, sis. Of course. This is what we do over here. We are building sisterhood. We are building community. We are growing our networks, because the only way that we are going to get to where God called us to be is together. We cannot get into the promised land alone. I've tried. It don't work, girl. Hey, Tina. Anointed. Oh, let's go, sis. Yes, that's what we do over here. We are anointed and we are doing God's work, period. William used his time abroad to study international politics and social. My battery just died. W.E.B. Du Bois, that's who we're learning about. After graduating, William took a teaching position in Ohio. Hey, Her Hands, welcome, sis. How you doing, friend? Her Hands is a graduated member. Number one gifter badge. Her Hands is a graduated member of our community.
Someone knows your name. They said, hey, Lonnie.
That's Pat. That's my girl. She's a part of the sisterhood. We look out for each other. And, we're creating safe spaces for each other. That's what we do in this community. After graduating, William took a teaching position in Ohio. After 2 years there, he accepted a position at the University of Pennsylvania, where he began to research and work on a sociology study called the Philadelphia Negro. This would be one of his many projects that centered on African American life history. Do you understand that I am? Hey, this is Michael.
Hey, 7-year-old, last name Appleton and middle name Anthony.
Why are you running your whole bio though? Like, can we have some anonymity on this dang internet? Even though I done ran his name already, but yeah, I gotta teach him that some things can't be shared publicly. But we already know we can share what people know, but we don't need to share what people don't know, because at some point we have to become private. Right now we're just Lonnie and Michael over here.
Anthony.
Right now we're just Lonnie and Michael over here, but there's gonna come a point. Thank you, sis. I love it.
Thank you for liking the live too.
There's gonna come a point in time where the information that we let the world know about us can put us in danger. So we need to make sure we start practicing that muscle now and building that muscle to keep our business to ourselves. All right, Shannon, we appreciate you. So he did the Philadelphia Negro. We act like we done stopped.
Absolutely. Same.
What are you pushing on my screen?
Say hi.
Okay, don't just be pushing random stuff on my screen, because just because your dad is, I guess you're introducing a new way to live, but I don't like the way that your dad lives. So be real mindful of how you live over here, because we don't live the same. Anyway, we think that researching us and developing us and how are we going to get to the next if we don't have any new thought leaders? How is the past going to teach us? Yes, W.E.B. Du Bois and all these people knew what they knew when they knew what they knew, but understand that this is a new world that they only conceptualize, and the world that they conceptualize ain't the motherfucking world we're living in right now. The world that we are living in. The world that we're living in right now, thank you.
Teaching.
The world...
Thank you.
The world that we're living in now is not the world that our ancestors conceptualized. Understand, if our ancestors knew this is what they were fighting and dying for us to take their sacrifices for granted, understand that the spoils that we experience and take for granted in 2024 isn't on our backs. The life that you are presently enjoying isn't off of your work. I'm sorry, it's not. It's off of the work of your ancestors. your ancestors made it possible for you to choose what job you take. Remember, your ancestors didn't have a choice. You actually have a choice. So you're not doing anything to advance the needle for your future, because we don't want to choose a job. We want to choose a way out. That's why with Primerica, I put that in front of people, because Primerica, for me, done the way that the formula says to do it, is a way out. It's a way out. It's the way to say, not only am I determining how much money I make for myself and my family, but the entire job is going to the next sis and saying, hey, sis, here's a way that you can make money for your family. Like, that's the fucking job. Going to you, Shannon, going to you, Pat, and saying, hey, sis, I found a way where they cannot cap the amount of money that we make. I found a way to make sure upon our passing, we leave at least $500,000 to more to our children, and we give them the financial literacy so they know how not to fuck the money up. Because somebody in our past, if we feel we come from royal blood,
I'm good.
if we don't think we come from royal blood, then this message ain't for you. But if you know you come from royal blood, you know you come from greatness, this is the time that God has put something before us that we can actually tap into and actually restore our bloodline. We can't take crossing paths with someone like me for granted. We cannot.
True.
And when someone like me is like, yo, you want to join my Primerica team? Mm-hmm. Right now it's only $49 for the application fee, and then $24 a month to maintain your back office, your home office. You have a ready-made business handed to you. All you got to do is work it. It's like buying a franchise. You think you stick that McDonald's up on the corner, it's automatically going to make burgers? Not when there's a Burger King and an Arby's and a Chick-fil-A already established on the corner. You're going to have to do some sort of work to get your work to working. And that's what Primerica is. You're going to have to do something to get that money rolling in. But once you get that first taste, I haven't gotten my first taste. And I got this passion and belief in this vehicle without even actually getting some money paid out. I got money in a bank account, but I ain't got a taste, and I ain't got the money from actually getting somebody to get life insurance. I need you guys to get life insurance. Understand that your family members are not going to be able to replicate you upon your passing. They're not. I am a stay-at-home mom. If my husband were to pass right now, the income that he is bringing in stops. What am I going to do? If he has a life insurance policy, which presently he doesn't because he's diabetic, so to insure him would be if he can get insured. I have life insurance, but it's only $100,000, and I have over $250,000 in student loan debt, so my life insurance policy isn't even going to cover what my children need to keep going upon my passing. So we have to understand that first we have financial literacy so that we don't get ourselves into financial space that we're in the first place. We don't create $250,000 because they were like, you want some money? I sure do. I lived great in my 20s. Why? Because they were giving me student loans. I have my master's degree. It took me 8 years to get my undergrad. So I got student loans.
Mom.
And I lived off of that money because I did not understand the future. The problem with us is we don't understand the future. Some of you have no retirement plan, myself included. I got on this path because my daughter came to me and she was like, hey, boss lady, how you doing, 74? I'm on this path because my daughter told me, you don't get to look at us like your retirement plan. I was like, damn, because y'all sure was. Thank you, friend. My children were my retirement plan. My daughter came to me and said, I can't be your retirement plan. I was like, I'm giving y'all everything. And you mean I can't depend on you to take care of my ass and give me a roof over my head? Damn. But she also made and ignited a fire under me where it's just like, well, maybe I should stop looking at my kids as my fucking retirement plan. Maybe I should try to figure something out. So by my kid coming to me and saying, yo, we don't get to be your default, that put a fire underneath me where it was like, I truly have to figure something out because I can't depend on them. And why would I ever want to be a version of me where I'm dependent on my children to keep a home cool enough that I can live in peace in the back room. Why is that the future I'm dreaming of for myself? So now I got to figure out how to get to $5 million, which is the number that I did with my financial needs analysis. Sit down with me for 15, 30 minutes and I can get you your own financial needs analysis so you at least know what kind of money you need. Primerica may not be your vehicle, but whatever vehicle you do attach to, make sure that vehicle realistically, because we only have the business acumen that we have. I had a friend who told me that she has a friend who has daycares and is teaching her what she knows about daycares. But understand, sis, she's only going to tell you what she will tell you so you do not become her competition. She is in a competitive industry. Understand, over here at Primerica, we need you to succeed in order for us to get this money. I need you to become as good as me. But when you're speaking to someone else out there in the streets, they're not going to teach you and breed you and groom you into their competition. That's a fool. Mm-hmm. This is a capitalistic world. Mm-hmm. This is a dog-eat-dog world. Mm-hmm. But not over here in these Primerica streets. Yes. We all got to eat in order for us all to eat. This is the most beautiful system. The each one teach one, each one reach one. I gotta pull you out. In order for me to win, I gotta pull you out. But we're poisoned against each other. And that's the problem. So, yeah. I don't know what happened there.
I'm trying to talk to you.
But thank y'all for hanging in. In 1900, William attended the first Pan-African Conference, which was held in London. So his quest for knowledge and his desire to teach the people about themselves landed him in London. So if history repeats, how you doing, Gifted Pearl? So if history repeats itself, then my desire to teach the world about themselves should get my ass in London too. Let's go. My ass needs to be in the UK. I think they're the same place. Ass is an okay word. I done said some pretty bad words tonight. You trying to catch me on ass? You can't say ass because it's not age appropriate. And it just is not palatable to my ears. What you say when you're not in my presence is on you, but what you say in my presence, even Adoy filters herself in front of me. Why do you think that you have earned the right to cuss in front of me?
Mom, can I have some ice cream, please?
Have you finished listening about W.E.B. Du Bois? I didn't always put an extra letter in there. How y'all doing tonight? He also wanted to put an end to the racism that African Americans face. In 1905, okay, so boom, here's another look at. We're looking at his timeline. We're paying attention to timelines, Pat. In 1885, the Du Bois family pulled together funds from neighbors to send him to Fisk University. In 1885. In 1895, 10 years later, pay attention, sis. Now we can start tracking trends in our lives because we're tracking trends. We don't think we're worth documenting, but thank God we documented other motherfuckers' lives because we could learn from them too. 10 years. 1895, he became the first African American to earn a PhD from Harvard. So 10 years later, he had another monumental year. So then we will look at from 1895, our next 10 year would be 1905. All right, so we got in 1900, William attended the first Pan-African Conference, which was held in London. The conference called for a halt to European imperialism in Africa, which had to do with Europeans trying to take over countries in Africa. He also wanted to put an end to the racism that African Americans faced. In 1905, let's see what happens in 1905. In 1905, he joined other African American leaders to create the Niagara movement. I think it says Niagara. I think it's Niagara.
Listening.
Yes, W.E.B. Du Bois. Yes.
Jinx.
In 1905, he joined the African American leaders to create the Niagara movement, which opposed racial segregation. The organization eventually morphed into the NAACP. So in 1885, he goes to Fisk University. In 1895, 10 years later, he becomes the first African American to get a PhD from Harvard. 10 years later, in 1905, he founds the NAACP. So do you understand the trends in our lives? Every 10 years, he does something monumental in his life. It doesn't have to have a big, deep, he creates the NAACP, but he had to go to Fisk University. He had to go to Harvard University. He had to do all those things 10 years exactly apart. This that's sitting in front of you popped off in 2023, 10 years exactly from when I published my first book. So pay attention to the trends in your life, and are you in a monumental year for yourself? You have to pay attention, y'all. I'm going to finish reading this, and then I'm going to go mind my business. I'm done using my brain. My brain hurts. Anyway. The organization eventually morphed into the NAACP, National Association of the Advancement of Colored People. That's what it stands for.
Okay.
What does it stand for?
Huh?
National Advancement
Colored People.
No, National Association of the Advancement of Colored People. Okay. So when someone asks us what the NAACP stands for, we will know that it stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Okay? Okay. So we should probably put that on a flashcard, because there's certain things that we should just know as black people. And I think we should know what advancement. I think we should know what NAACP stands for. What do you think? I think that's basic black people knowledge. I think we should have that. Yeah, National Association of the Advancement of Colored People. Hey, nobody raised me. I'm raising myself, and I'm doing a dang good job of raising my child so that he doesn't have to be 40-something years old saying he's just now learning what the NAACP stands for. Hey, each one teach one. We are saving the next generation. Saving the next generation. Yes, you are. Thank you. Will you stop jinxing me? Can you please fall back on that? Do that with your friends, not with your mama. All right. The NAACP would be one of the primary organizations that eventually ended segregation.
Primary.
Did NAACP really, I know how they make stories.
Got my little one listening too.
Yes, this is generational, sis. We unlocking multiple generations. This is what God called us to do. God called us to heal generations at a time. I just looped in sis girl's mama. Sis girl mama be texting me now. Sis girl is in her 30s, which means mama's in her 50s or her 60s. And, me and mama got a Zoom call on the calendar. This what we out here doing. We healing generations. We ain't got time to play. Not with what's around the corner, just around the river bend. What's just around the river bend for what's happening to this society, we got to get ready now. We got to know our history so that when we go to the polls, we're not going to the polls on flimsy values. We're going to the polls because we understand that if they can and they will try to strip our rights, we could stand in line. But if enough of us aren't together on that, we at least got the money. The only way I know right now is Primerica. If you got another way, get it. But we got the money to get the fuck up out of this country. Too many of us are going to be left here on the ground, suffering, because we didn't prepare ourselves. I didn't prepare myself for retirement.
For real.
Our 18 and 19-year-old kids should be putting money up right now. This is also something that we do with Primerica. We set up your investments accounts. We go to the Vanguards. We go to all of the elite firms out there. And on your behalf, you can start an account for $25. Through the relationships that Primerica has created with these people, you can start an account that would typically take $5, $6, $1,000, if not more, to start. You could get in there with $25. Talk to me. If you got someone over the age of 18 with no pre-existing conditions, that is when you get your life insurance policies. Term, not whole. Whole is a scam. Please stop. I know you're tracing me and you're trying to learn me, but I want you to do it in your head, not in my ear. I understand what you're doing, but not in my ear. So you have to understand there's so much knowledge out there. I ain't lying, Shannon. So you have to understand that there's so much knowledge out there that they keep from us. And then when one of us come in front of us and we're like, hey, sis, I got something to tell you, we're skeptical because we listened to a bunch of people who did not have the vision that we have. We understand that if somebody has something and somebody else has something, they're going to have two different experiences. But if more people come to us with the same experience and there's a one-off person who had a different experience, we tend to believe the majority. But if we really want to make changes in our lives and we have prayed and we sat with ourselves and we understand that this is what we've been calling into our lives, we might want to look at that one person a little different this time. We have to pay attention to the trends in our lives. What have you been asking God for? You're not on this live because you ain't got shit else to do with your Wednesday night. You are on this live for a reason. I'm actually supposed to be in a meeting right now, but my person canceled because they had a family emergency. I was thankful for them to come to me and cancel with me. That means they actually valued this opportunity. They understand. I may not understand what this is, but I understand this is something. Thank you, her hands. We have to understand that I don't know what this is, but I know that it's something. And if you have that feeling within yourself that I don't know what this is, but I know that this is something, you owe it to yourself to come see about it. What else you doing? Give it 6 months, give it 3 months, give it a year. Give it your all. The same all that you're giving to the shit that's not giving you shit, give your all here. Sit under my tutelage. Allow yourself to grow into your highest potential, because if you are on this healing journey, you understand that you can always get better. And you understand that you don't know everything. That is the strength in our community, and that is the community I'm building in the Sister Support Network. I'm creating spaces where people like us are in group chats. We ain't in group chats with these Rudy Poots. I'm sorry, but let's keep it G. We are in group chats with people like us. So bombs like this are being dropped all the fucking time, because all we're doing is healing. We're creating spaces for people like us, and we're bringing our children together. Understand, by allowing your children to listen to this and listen to my child, they're seeing someone that looks like them and sounds like them and saying, yo, I could pop my stuff at 7? I've been thinking I gotta wait till I'm your age to pop my stuff. I could pop my stuff at 19. I could pop myself at 5. I could pop my stuff at 12. As my husband, a black man, I could pop my stuff as a black man? What? Do you understand we're unlocking each other? That's the work that we're doing. That's the work that we're doing. So for this to bump up against anybody, understand this shit bumps up against my husband. My husband said, you just a regular ass nigga that think you out here special. You ain't special. That's what my husband said to me. So understand, I'm bumping up against this shit too. Yes, let's finish reading.
Yay.
He joined other African Americans. Throughout his life, William remained an activist and a scholar, which means he never stopped. Just because he stopped getting fame from it doesn't mean he stopped being who he is.
Mom,
he was
Primerica. I found this word say primary.
Primerica. Good job. So his activism and his pursuit for knowledge was not dependent on the attention he got from the world. He was who he was no matter what. So when you stop getting attention for what you're doing, you still need to be who you are. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Publishing many works on the lives of African Americans. Today, his work is still recognized for offering a groundbreaking analysis of race in the United States. They gonna be recognizing Lonnie Appleton too, because I am studying the Black American. I sure am studying us. Tell your friends about us. Y'all better be on my live Sunday, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm going my first podcast, right? Yes. I'm finally doing a podcast Saturday. If you're not on Facebook, it's Lonnie Appleton. Just look for Lonnie Appleton. I say my name enough that you'll find me over there. Go follow me on Facebook. That's where you get to experience me in written form. Hey, Coco, see, I be wanting to jump off, and then one of my girlies hop on, and I be like, well, shoot you the link. Which link do I need to send you for Facebook? We're friends on Facebook, so what link do you need, friend? Thank you for liking the live. Children learn more from what you are than what you teach. Boom. This is the quote at the end of this, right? On the day that I decide that I'm going to use this book to teach my son, invitation for the podcast live. I'm going to send you the, it's here. I'm going to do it here. It's going to be here, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm going to go live on TikTok, and I'm going to go live on YouTube as the apple turns. So I'll send you the flyer.
Okay, cool.
And then I'll post it to different spots. I have a meeting on Saturday. This is my first podcast, so I am blessed to have aligned with a sis, and this is the power in community, right? I'm in rooms that I wouldn't otherwise be in. Right now I have to pay to be in the rooms, but understand once you get to a space in your journey where sisters see what you're doing and where you're trying to go, they will open those doors for you. I will have access to places that I don't have to pay for. Simply because a sis sees what I'm out here doing. She's like, sis, I see what you're doing. And I see this on such a grand scale. I see this on a scale where I have office space that I'm not paying for. I see this on a scale where I have, but also because God's bringing to my attention Abraham, when Rebecca died, if I get the names wrong, I apologize. But when Abraham was bearing Rebecca, they were like, just take it. Just take the land. He was like, no, I need to pay for this because what you ain't gonna do, and this is my interpretation, what you ain't gonna do is pull the rug from underneath me, in the thing. Like, you ain't gonna move her bones when you ready to say, oh, you need to pay or go. I need to own what I need to own. But understand where this is headed is the movement is going to become the momentum. Coco, when I approached you to talk to you and to get your phone number, you said you were going through some things. I hope you're not still going through some things, but if you are, maybe talking to me will help. If you understand, our connection was so deep. Both of our spouses were looking at us crazy like, you talking to Coco again? You talking to Lonnie again? I think y'all had a whole nickname for me over at your house because we were so deep in it. So understand, whatever you're going through, maybe plugging back into me. I'm not the being. You actually helped me become who I am. Every single one of you in the community, but Coco specifically.
Apple. Just Apple.
Yeah, Apple.
Oh,
yeah,
because nickname.
Yeah, they call me Apple.
Apple lady.
The Apple lady. That's what it is. You talking to the Apple lady? Yeah. So it's funny, you guys have nicknames for me in your house. I think that's wonderful because when someone comes into your space and they're so impactful, your spouse is either going to get excited that you found something to be excited about, or they're going to feel threatened because you found something to be excited about. Why are you over there kikiing with her? Why ain't you kikiing with me? My husband has now found these lives because he's growing his platform, but he's sitting on the live of this woman every night till 10, 11, 12. I clocked him getting into bed at 12:30 at night because he's sitting watching this woman's live, interacting, commenting. But what's most offensive to me is he's allowing this woman to speak over him. Please stop. Play that game with your friends. I don't like it. So he's allowing this woman to speak over him. You can't sit and learn how to have a conversation with me because I don't communicate at the capacity that makes you comfortable. I communicate at a high level. I have high expectations. When I open my mouth for a reason. Well, I do like watching people paint sometimes. When I open my mouth for a reason. My husband doesn't necessarily open his mouth for a reason. Because he says some things. What's up, Nugget Queen? Because he says some things and I have questions. Why did you say what you just said? Why can't I just say stuff? Because if you're doing things and you don't have a reason to do it, why are you doing it? We only got 24 hours. Why are you wasting time saying anything that has no meaning? If it has no meaning, shut the fuck up. That's how I feel.
Is down enough.
Not just about him.
Probably can use my Kindle now.
No, I want the sun completely down. But yes, you didn't even go get that cotton out the backyard. You literally didn't do anything that I didn't ask you to do, which means you were waiting for me to tell you what to do, even though I gave you a list at the beginning. You ain't cleaned up your mess. You ain't cleaned up your dish. You ain't did none of the stuff that I said to do except for ride your bike and the things you wanted to do. But you still got things to do that you don't want to do. So until you demonstrate that you can handle your business independently of me telling you what to do, you will wait till that sun is completely down, and you will continue to wait if you don't do what I told you to do specifically, was get that cotton out of that yard, put this stuff away, wash your dish, don't rinse it, I want you to wash it. And depending on what time it is, if it's 7 o'clock, feed these dogs. You still got an hour and a half. Go do what you know you're supposed to do. Then try to ask me to cut some corners. Because what we don't do is get something for nothing around here. When you give your children something for nothing, you're teaching them how to be employees. Ain't that what an employee is? You could literally sit on your job like this, making $25 an hour, $15 an hour, $50 an hour, whatever. You literally have some days where you sitting like this at your job doing something, nothing for something. So you're setting your child up to be an employee if you give them something for nothing. They must produce, period. I don't care. You're being hard on them. Hell yeah, I am. Because I'm not creating employees. I'm not creating slaves. I'm creating self-thinkers. I'm creating self-starters. And you don't get the reward until you do the work. And sometimes if you still do the work and you still may not get the reward. You may go out and prospect. You may go out and talk to people. Yo, cut that out. Take her with you when you take her out. The disrespect. In here fighting. Yeah, lay your butt down.
You're fighting because of me.
Being disrespectful. Kaya, get up out of here. Kaya, I want you to leave my room.
Kaya, come on.
Take them both outside.
Gosh. Why are you scratching the door?
Dang dogs. Yeah, I'm Dr. Doolittle over here. I done learned how to talk to animals. I don't know how to talk to animals, but I talk to animals now. It's really interesting. Anyway, and I can teach you. I can teach you how to talk to animals. Now, I don't know how, but I can teach you how to get to the frequency where you be like, I think these motherfuckers are listening to me. Like, and it's not the dogs, right? The dogs are smart enough. I can talk to birds. I can talk to bees. Them damn flies don't listen. But are flies supposed to listen? The dogs open something new. My cats do. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm starting to talk to trees. Like, I'm starting to be able to talk to nature, and the nature responds to me. So I'm excited about the gifts that I'm opening up. And every time, spirit, this isn't God, this is spirit. Every time spirit comes and wags his ass in front of me like, astrology, I can teach you all about the stars. Don't you want to learn how to read the stars? I'm like, I do. And God was like, bitch, if you don't sit your ass down, it's not for you to know the future. It's not for you to know until you figure it out. Stop trying to cheat. So that happened to me the other day. And I thought sis was being flaky. I was like, man, she won't make no appointment with me. She dodging me. And God was like, she ain't dodging you. She ain't being flaky. She's being blocked. Now, the trouble is, and this is why they don't want us to play with their tools. They don't want us to play with their tools because we get caught. We get confused. Like, the tool itself isn't the problem. It's what the tool represents that is the problem. How they use the tool is the problem. Because, yes, I can use these angel tarot cards to tap in to the Most High. But somebody else is using these angel tarot cards to tap into something else. And if what they're tapping into, utilizing the same tool that you're utilizing, is a little bit more enticing. Oh, you over there, you getting money? Like you ask God for money and it actually shows up? What are you over there doing? I need to know. Because I'm over here trying to figure out how to ask God for money and it actually show up. So if you're over there asking God for money and it's really showing up, I need to know what you're doing. But we also have to understand that if... Where's my backpack? Give me my backpack, son.
Okay.
Help your sis out, please.
Here. I'm gonna get a book for you. I knew it.
It's always a book. What else is in my backpack? I'd be walking around with books on my back. Ain't that crazy? Who knew I would be walking around with books on my back? And I'm actually reading them and writing them. If the person isn't using this as the access point to get to wherever they're getting to, it ain't God. It's not. If we want to know, like, look, Spirit talks to me. I like these because Spirit actually uses words and I can read it. I don't go to the little booklet and say, well, what's this supposed to mean? No, I just be like, okay, God, I'm about to make a goddamn decision and I ain't got time for ambiguity. I ain't got time to decipher stuff. I need you to use words. I need words. Yes, I need words. And so I go to the source of words. God, I'm trying to figure something out. I'm going to turn on the TV and you're going to deliver the message because I'm expecting something. I need to know something. I'm going to turn on this music and you're going to deliver because I need words. I don't have time to figure it out. But if whoever you're talking to isn't using this as the basis of what they're figuring out, this particular issue, I'm just going to go to the cards because we need some answers now. And then we'll develop a conversation. But understand, when you're talking to one of us, every 10 words is going to be God. Every 10 words is going to be the Most High. Every 10 words is going to be Jesus. Every 10 words is going to be something that is glorifying God because we know all blessings flow from Him. And if you don't know that all blessings flow from Him, then what energy are you truly moving under? Because you are getting results, but for what I know to be true divine relationship, God to be all the glory. God to be glorified. You better run God His flowers, period. Because if you want something from Him, you better acknowledge where it's coming from. So that's why I ask you guys to support me. Like, I got books. I got, if you want to join my Primerica business so we could work together that way. I got my podcast, share my events. I have virtual events. I have all these different things that I'm offering to the community. Share me. Donate to my Cash App if you want to. Support what's going on so this can continue to go on. Because what the devil is doing is making it very difficult for this to continue to go on. I'm getting ready to do a live this morning and the power goes out. And I'm like, okay, soon as my live starts, 8 a.m., zoom, everything goes black. So the devil is making it very difficult for this message to get out. So please, if it is in your heart to support the community, please support the community. There are a multitude of ways. Because we need to know what we need to know, and we don't even know what we need to know until it's in front of us and it starts making sense. That's how we know we need to know, because when it don't make sense, we just be like, all right, keep scrolling. But if the stuff starts making sense, we're like, well, then I need to use this past, present, future, 3 months back, present, 3 months forward. That's how I live my life. Whatever God is telling me, I know it's in my immediate path. Past, present, future. Every single thing. Me communicating with you more, Coco. I understand that this is for purpose. This ain't just because you starting to pop back around. Pat, you being here tonight, I know it's not simply because you whatever your journey was to this moment. We have to understand, in order for us to be in this specific moment, a lot of shit had to happen. Like I said, right now, I'm supposed to be in a meeting. What time is it? It's 5:44. My meeting is supposed to take place at 6:30, I believe. So time is moving really, really slow right now, which I appreciate because I'm trying to get into these K-dramas and I'm trying to be in a K-drama all night. Like, I'm not trying to do nothing but read subtitles and probably study wealth, because I like studying the wealth of the Asians. Like, everybody shows their wealth. I don't like the way the African culture shows wealth. It's a lot of consumption and consumerism. But when the Asians show wealth, they show it from a business perspective. They run in conglomerates, you know, we say, I have my business thing going, but if we don't have an actual businessman or woman to study, how are we studying business? I've been studying K-dramas enough to understand that when I see a businessman or a businesswoman standing in front of me. So when I see Gary Cornegay and I listen to how he speaks and I see how he moves, I'm recognizing from my K-dramas, I was like, this motherfucker's a CEO. And he is running his Primerica business like we are his different. It's beautiful. This man came in as an individual and figured out how to run his business like a corporation. And I'm figuring out how to run my business like a corporation. And bonus, I get to go ask this man how to do it. I get to study this man. And I recognize it because I've been watching these goddamn K-dramas and I'm studying wealth. Not to go into consumerism of it. That's what they want us as Black Americans and Black people, brown people. We want to consume. This is what wealth looks like. Giving it back. But when you watch these K-dramas, when they spend money, they rarely on shopping trips. They buying other businesses. They waiting for somebody to die. Like it's Sharky out. It's the Shark Tank. They waiting on somebody. What's up, K Francis? They waiting on somebody to fall off so they could go get their business. So they could get bigger and absorb more and more. And it's a game like they up, they down, they up, they down, different, but they ain't nobody truly down because it's an acumen. They're transferring that acumen to the next generation. You will never see in a Korean, now get it, my knowledge of Korea is based off of Netflix, okay? So I'm not really in the Korean streets. So I'm speaking with this passion based off of Netflix. But anyway, let me get back into this passion. I just had to give that caveat because I'm going to take my ass to Korea and be like, oh, this ain't nothing. Or I'll be like, oh, shit, this is nothing like I thought it would be. Isn't those are your two reactions? Oh, this is nothing like I thought it would be. Or, oh, shit, this is something. I'm happy I'm in this motherfucking room. Give yourself a chance. Join my Primerica team so you can see if you could be happy you in this motherfucking room. Do you understand? If you make $250,000 in this business, you now have the right to be in rooms with people who make $13 million in this business and you can sit and have dinner with them? Do you understand just being willing to pay $24 a month for your system? You can now sit in a room with a Gary Cornegay, a self-made millionaire in this business, and ask him how he did it? America never portrays other countries in their real light. I don't know. But what I'm picking up from these K-dramas, thank you for putting me back on track. What I'm picking up from these K-dramas is how they do demonstrate wealth. Now, I get it. They buying cars and shit and all that other stuff. But what I'm paying attention to is they're buying businesses. Every relationship they have is a business relationship. What they're missing out is on that friendship piece. And I remember when I first started coming into this and I had my first physical world friend opportunity. And I was like, well, I want a vacation together. I want to do all these things together. And she was like, that's a complete waste of time. She was like, if you're going to be my friend, you got to come and essentially, this is not what she said, but essentially she said, you got to come and get money with me. At first I was offended because I was just like, you are saying you only want me to play the way that you want to play. But the moment I asked her to play the way that I wanted to play, our friendship ended. Which is good because God had to break that bond. But what she was saying is, if we ain't getting money together, I only got 24 hours in a day. I would rather spend my day getting money. But guess what? While I'm getting money, Coco, you and I, we're developing our relationship to such a space to where I'm getting money with my best friend. My business partners, Brandy and Stephanie, if you guys, sit down for an hour and meet the ladies, you'll be able to see they're best friends and they get money together. Brandy 2 or 3 years ago was in Vegas for an event and she had $200-$300 in her bank account. She was like, sis, I'm struggling. And she was like, I may have something for you. Brandy gave it an opportunity. Now Brandy is a 6-7 figure earner in her own right. Now, her stress isn't about checking the bank account to see if the money's there to cover the bills. Her stress is checking her bank account to make sure the money don't disappear. She doesn't understand. Potentially, she's still expressing poverty mindset because I don't think Bill Gates checks his bank accounts. So there's levels to this wealth journey. And you have to understand that there's behaviors that continue to follow us from the previous stage. We don't even understand that we're in a previous stage. My account will never be overdrawn again. I remember when I declared that stuff over my life and my account never was overdrawn again. And then I hit a space in this journey where my account started being overdrawn. Because I was able to shrink myself where I didn't have expenses, but then I had expenses, but I had no income. So now I had to at least match my income to my expenses so my account isn't overdrawn anymore. But I'm declaring over my life that my bank account will never be overdrawn again. I had to understand now that I'm contemplating, I need to separate myself from my husband. I want to get a divorce, but God doesn't like divorce. So now I got to figure out, how can I be in this relationship? But I told myself, and I recognized, I was like, every time a woman says she's going to leave a man, she separates herself a little bit more from that man. I am no longer financially attached to my husband. My husband, yes, he is going through his financial experience. And I rationalized it in my head as, because he doesn't have the money for me to borrow, I'm not borrowing it. But the truth is, even if he did have the money, I don't know how much money this man has. I used to manage all his bank accounts, but now I don't know how much money this man has. And I have to figure out how to make my life work financially independently without him. Understand that every relationship that I've been in, where I stayed in it past the time that I knew I needed to leave it, is because I was financially intertwined with that man. Yes, in my independence, but still, my independence was my ability to use his resources to pump up my resources. What I didn't know, what I should know now, is that I should have been using some of that money, 50% of the money that I was bringing in, 50% of that money that I had complete control over, 50% of that money should have been going into investments accounts, so that when it's time for me to get up and leave, I can get up and leave. But I also understand that God does not like divorce. So I have to figure out how to get out of this relationship, a relationship where I am not equally yoked with my spouse. And it's not on my head. I have to trust God. Because what I won't do is jeopardize the brand. And what I won't do is jeopardize my relationship and my obedience with God. But what I won't do is lie to the brand and pretend that it is something that it's not. Because the brand is in me figuring this shit out. How do we get up out of a space that we created by our own choices outside of the hand of God? And now that we're doing the work, thank you for the love, ladies. I don't take you for granted. Now that we're doing the work to align with God, we start realizing that 99.99999% of the relationships that we had prior to the desire of aligning with God must go. My husband said, you're just getting rid of relationships, or you're getting rid of friendships that you don't align with, and I just feel like I'm a casualty. Hey, Shay Capone. You are a casualty because you don't align with me, and I don't have time to fight with anyone. But what I do is I have a marriage, and now I got to figure out how to navigate that. So, some of our people, I understand your circumstances and what you're going through. I see how heavy your cross is. Because just because what we're going through looks different, right? Your bad is different than my bad, but it don't mean it ain't bad. Eddie, how you doing? It don't mean it ain't bad. Because once we realize that we are in a circumstances that God did not design, we have to get up out of those circumstances. But how do we separate ourselves from those circumstances and still be in alignment with God? I don't know, but that is what God is teaching me right now. Because I am in a space within my intimate relationship where I know it's not serving God. And I know it's not serving God because we're not able to move forward together. It's kicking and screaming and fighting and biting and all these different things. And it's just like, yo, I'm just really trying to move this family forward. We have to understand that we live in a world that's created men who are ill-equipped to lead, but still identify as leaders. And I know people don't want to hear me say this. I just filmed a video and I don't know when it's going to drop, but I said, how dare you tell me a woman can't raise a man? Because you essentially are telling me that I birthed something that I don't have the qualifications to raise. Who else has the qualifications to raise something that I birthed? The streets? Some random? I have to go find some random that has it between his legs so that he can feed into my child? And I'm supposed to just sit idly by while he either does or doesn't. Thank you for the love. Either he does or he doesn't feed into my child. That's what I'm supposed to do? Because I can't raise a man, and the number of women who spout this nonsense pisses me off. And they say it with such articulation, just like I'm speaking about the Korean culture with so much authority, like I've been to Korea further than Netflix. They speak so confidently when they say a woman can't raise a man. Well, who the fuck is supposed to raise that which I pushed out of which I grew from my fucking body? I grew it from my body, and you want to tell me I can't raise it? All he did was donate a seed. He donated a seed, and I get it. He grew that seed from his body, but I grew it in my body. It's a literal part of my organs. All of it is a part of me. And you want to tell me I can't raise it? You're full of shit. The person of God in the relationship becomes the light that guides. Amen. And the problem is, in my family, neither one of us knew God. We came into this marriage, no disrespect. We were married by a black female lesbian atheist. That's who married us. On a mountaintop while it was storming, raining. That's our origin story. That's our entering into God's sacred space. And no disrespect. I'm just saying, when we're thinking about the desires of God's heart, my relationship started being blessed and spoke over by an atheist. The foolery. So, I love y'all. Get plugged in on Facebook. Get plugged in Lonnie Lifestyle. I'll do a better job of pinning to the top of my platform what virtual events I have going on, what in-person events I have going on. The work that I'm doing is so intentional. I'm growing us to our highest potential. It's really disappointing. Hey, Laverne, love him. Hey, love me. Hey, love me. It's really disappointing to me. And I'll say this because I have a couple of our OGs in the room right now. It's really disappointing to me when I come to some of my peers and I'm like, hey, here's the new move. And they're like, nah. And they turn into an energy of, why are you starting to boss me around? Bitch, I've been bossy. Go ahead and drop a praying hand in the comment section if you agree that I've been bossy. I have been telling y'all this is what you need to do. It ain't started simply because what I'm telling you what you need to do is different than what I've been telling you what you need to do. I've been telling y'all what you need to do. That's why this content is so risky. Because I, as a black woman, yes, Aries. I, as a black woman, am coming into a space of other black women and telling you this is what you need to do. Now, you ain't got to do it like me. Pat didn't drop praying hands, but Pat acknowledged that, yes, you've been bossing bitches around. You've been bossing sisters around, sis. So she did it her way, but she still let me know, sis, yeah, you've been bossy. This ain't nothing new. The you are today is just a different type of confidence. It's at a different vibrational point. So I am thankful to you, Pat, because you're still running with me. Because this is a marathon. You're still running with me. I'm proud. Sister Sunshine, join us. I hope that you run with us. So I'm actually proud of you, Pat, because you haven't ran away from me. Understand that many, I'm almost done. Understand that many of our OGs done fell off. Ace Boom Coombs done fell off. Just this week, I lost a 7-year relationship and I lost a 3-year relationship because they can't keep running, but you're still here. Coco, you're still here. And so I'm very proud of you. Do not take the fact that you can keep up with me for granted. And that's not me saying I'm anything different than you. That's saying we're the same thing. That greatness that you see in you, same, sis. Let's unlock it. Let's talk about real life, but let's talk about healing. Let's talk about kinks in our hoses so that we can push through these kinks in our hoses. Because if we push through these kinks of our hoses, then we're flowing without any type of objection. And we want to do a river is contained, but a hose, I need that precision. A river, I want to flow like a motherfucking hose, but if I'm flowing like a hose, there's too many variables in the room for a river. There's too much space for a variable. But if I'm fucking with a hose, if anything is obstructing that, I need to know, because I need that flow. So those of you who have my phone number, use it. Yeah, I'm going to reach out to you on some worldly shit because we live in the world. I got to see. Can I talk to sis? Can I talk to sis? But once I realized I could talk to you, can we talk? Like, sis, I've been searching for you like you searching for me. But I got to be able to say some shit to you and you got to be like, yeah, you right. No buts. We wouldn't even be talking like this if you wasn't trying to sort some shit out. And could it be that I got a piece of the solution? But you did 1, 2, 3. Here's 4, 5, 6. And if you talk to another, she got 7, 8, 9. And somebody out there got 10. Boom, you just solved your problem. That's the strength in our network. That's the strength in our community. And that is what we've been doing for this past year, past 2 years, however long you've been on this ride with us. We going into year 3. My husband told me to quit. It ain't paying out. Now I know I'm not here because it's paying out. It'll pay out once y'all start telling everybody about me like you telling everybody about yourself. Like you telling everybody about these fake ass prophets out here. I done got the same fucking pastor twice. I was like, y'all keep sending this nigga and he ain't said shit. He ain't said shit. But he's appealing to y'all's flesh. Y'all don't share me the way that I need to be shared. And I know y'all ain't sharing me the way that I need to be shared because I'm not growing daily. I need to have people in my comments saying Pat sent me. I need people in my comments saying Coco sent me. I need people telling me where they came from so that I could come back to you and say, thank you, sis. Thank you for offering this opportunity to somebody else. Somebody to get this knowledge too. Because we all need this knowledge. If we find another one of us, they need this knowledge. And then y'all go talk about it and dissect it even more and grow yourselves amongst yourselves. We need access to this. That's why I need this shit shared. And once we get to that space where we're sharing this knowledge, then this is going to do what it needs to do. And it can become a financial vehicle for my family. And as you grow yourself, it becomes a financial vehicle for your family. When the Black Girl Follow Train dropped, I said, this follow train is going to make, 2 years ago, this follow train is going to make some millionaires. Because some enterprising Black women, if we understood that all it takes is for us to show up for each other, they would actually bankrupt this shit because we would be getting money out of it because we know to go to each other's platforms and share. It's been that long. It was 2023, 2022. Please leave my room because I've asked you multiple times to stop doing that. And since you have not demonstrated the aptitude and self-control to do it, I want you just to leave, okay? You understand exactly what you did, correct? Okay, thank you. All right, so we have to understand that 2023, Black Girl Follow Train, they've had variations of it. I didn't collect a bunch of follows. I wish I could figure out how to drop all that dead weight. I'm okay with 100 solid followers than 12,000 inactive followers. That 12,000 pleases the flesh. What pleases me is the 2 of y'all sitting on this live with me, the 3 of y'all sitting on this live with me. That's what pleases me. Because of those 12,000 followers, I was able to reach you 3. I had to go find 12,000 people to find you. That's how valuable you are. You are one of 12,000. And as the number increases, you are one of them. But we can increase how many we plug into and how many we grow and share in this space of knowledge. But understand that this availability to me is going to go. You won't be able to tap into me by just clicking on TikTok. 1, because they might take TikTok. 2, because I'm not going to have time to do anything that does not pay me. If I go live, there's going to be some money attached to it. If I do anything, there's going to be some money attached to it. Because I only have 24 hours in this day, and I ain't got time to play with nobody, especially my freedom and my family. Because where this world is headed, same sis, where this world is headed, we got to guap up, stack up quick. 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 You understand? We got to guap up, stack up quick. We got a lot of fucking ground to cover in a short amount of time, because where this head is going, only the strong is going to survive. And I need you to feel that in your soul and in your spirit. You understand? I ain't just been saying shit this whole time. So now that I'm saying this shit, it might matter. Remember, I told y'all I speak 6 months to a year in advance. The shit that I'm talking about, they ain't gonna be on for another year, because somebody heard me, didn't give me no credit, and repeated what I said, and they're more popular than me, so they got the credit for the shit that I've been saying 2 years ago. So understand, if I'm talking about we need to guap up, stack up quick, that means God has given us a warning. So, all right, y'all, I'm about to get into these K-dramas. I appreciate you. If you're not connected, make sure you're connected. There's multitudes of ways that you can support the community. I don't necessarily got to tell you. If you want to support the community, don't we find out how to do shit? If you want to get connected, don't we figure out? If you can't do a little bit of research, I got to tell you everything. That means you don't want it. I only want people who want it. So if you want to know more, get connected. As the apple turns, Lonnie Appleton, LonnieLifestyle.com. About to get into this laundry. I love you, sis. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for sharing me with your community. I really appreciate you guys. Let's stop. The reason why I went live, let's stop the lie that a woman can't raise a man. It's a lie.